Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I have a series of videos that are covering all 12 of the various zodiac signs and looking towards, kind of a general reading for your overall month of May. So for, of course, this video we are talking about Aries, and so let's go ahead and dive into what the oracle cards have to say for your overall month of May. So we have 18 new experience and possibilities. We have 30, the garden and the gate. We also have Mercury, open communication. We have boundaries. And then we have 39 blessings. So overall, looking at these, it's pretty surprising for you guys because there's quite a few cards here that I have not had pop up in readings before, so that's new and exciting. So let's go ahead and talk about, speaking of new and exciting, let's talk about the new experience and possibilities. So this is a very springtime card, I felt like, because it's really a call to look around in nature, and notice new beginnings, new growth, new experiences, new choices that are being shown to you. And so I feel like this is, take the time to go outside and enjoy the spring season and what's happening right now, because even where I am currently living, all the trees have totally greened up. There's all these new bees and all these creatures buzzing around, so it's really exciting. And a good way to, I think, start off the season is by reconnecting with nature for you guys. And this is sort of a fresh start. So you're starting off the spring season with a new slate, a new blank kind of canvas to write on. So what are you gonna write there? What are you gonna create? Your possibilities are endless. You are in complete control of your life. This is a new beginning on your journey. Live in the present and trust in your own abilities. Plant your seeds and willingly venture into new territory. So maybe even go outside, plant a flower garden, work on whatever it is that you have passion for, and do that, because this is a really positive, good sign. And even on that note, we have 39 blessings, which is all about, having this divine light of, God or whatever deity that you subscribe to and you believe in, shining that light down on you having all that light in your heart. And so recognizing that you are very blessed in your current moment, in your situation, and to really, breathe that in, celebrate the spring season, celebrate yourself and, what you have to offer, what you have to give, be very, have a lot of gratitude and thankful for, this new possibility, this new beginning. Now, down here we have, I feel like, definitely the big sort of major thing that you need to work on for the month of May, and that is this idea of communication and boundaries. Let's go ahead and put this in the middle because it kind of combines all three of these cards kind of have to deal with the same thing. So let's talk about the energy oracle. Well, actually, let's leave that one for after we discuss. Let's discuss boundaries here. So this is asking you, where do you need to establish better boundaries? So this is about people, around you, of course, are asking for things, and you might have a tendency to be very saying yes to everything, when really you need to establish a better boundary from people, because it could be a thing where you're very giving and you're very helpful, and so you're saying yes to all your friends or family or work, just saying yes, when really in a lot of situations you want to say no. You really mean to say no, because and by constantly saying yes when you mean to say no, it can cause, resentments and a lot of energy drain on you, because you're constantly giving, because you're feeling, maybe a responsibility that you have to do this. You have to say yes to people. So this card is a big reminder that, saying no and having clear boundaries is actually a spiritual act, and it's very important, because the most giving and loving, compassionate people are those with the clearest boundaries. For when they say yes, they're able to give unconditionally. So, you need to be able to, recognize if you are saying yes when you really mean no, you are likely needing something yourself. So ask yourself, what part of me needs something from them? This could be anything from just approval, a fear of being seen a certain way, or a fear of loss. Maybe you're any sort of thing like that could be the case of why you're giving too much of yourself and saying yes to all these situations. So the best way to gauge your boundaries is to check in with your belly. Your belly is the second brain. It has an intelligence known as your gut feelings. Tune into this space when deciding what is okay for you. How does it feel? What is it trying to communicate with you? Where in your life do you need to establish the better boundaries? So yes, for me, definitely be looking at that. And a big part of that is what Mercury has to talk about, which is open communication. Get a weight off your chest, speak up with love, and be heard. So he's really here to remind you to work on your communication skills. And that has to do with, understanding where you need to say no to some people. And you don't have to be mean about it. This saying no doesn't have to be a mean thing. It's a more honest way of honoring yourself and the other person, because you're saying no right now, because if you say yes to whatever it is they're asking from you, and you really deep down you don't feel like you can do it, or you don't want to do it, then you're not going to give your best to that person. That ends up damaging, your self-esteem, your reputation, or whatever it is, and it can lead to a lot of miscommunication, I feel like. So you need to open all level of communication now. Important messages, information, insights are being shared. You may hear from an old friend or family member, or have an opportunity to finally understand a loved one you've not had an easy time with. You may be able to clarify situations where you feel you weren't heard properly or were misunderstood. Get things off your chest in a loving way so that you can clear all roads to love in your life. Love in your life. Listen to communication is a two-way street. Mercury is here now to allow you to hear clearly and be heard. So listen to what other people, what they're trying to communicate to you, and big time, you need to communicate your boundaries. Even if you're in a relationship or something, a romantic relationship, maybe you're letting your partner do all the leading and you're holding back something. So take the risk. Don't let sort of fear or doubt cloud you, and be very open and authentic with yourself. If it's a fear of rejection from that other person, maybe if they truly want to be in the relationship with you and they really care for you on that true authentic level, then they'll understand what communication you're bringing. And if they don't, then that is just a sign that maybe that relationship isn't correct for you, and come to a question of, do you really want to be in this relationship still? Maybe there's a new experience or a new possibility out there that might be a better blessing for you than where you currently are right now. And that leads us to the final oracle card we have here to talk about, which kind of sums up both of these situations, I feel, and that is the Garden and the Gate. So this is a really good sign of prosperity, both on the financial situation and just, I think, on an emotional level. Now, usually this card talks about, you're sitting and you're enjoying this lush garden, but maybe, and you have the key to the gate to go outside of the garden around your neck, but the gate is closed. So normally this card would be talking about maybe you need to open up the gate more and, not let fear sort of contain you in that situation. But with the other cards around you, I feel like it's a little bit of that and a little bit of that idea of boundary. So you have a boundary, this gate. So you need to be in better control of when you open it, when you close it, and how and when you do that. So let's see. A very good financial scene, There may be a lot of money or other personal pleasures that are coming your way at this time during May. You know, that, again, that very spring, flowery energy. But understand, you know, while it's fine to amass a great deal of wealth, don't let it keep you from your karmic path or from living your truth. You have the choice to shift your focus, widen your spiritual perspective, and gain the world that is outside your gate. So yes, and I feel a big part of that is coming with the lesson of learning how to control this boundary better. So knowing when to say yes and when to say no. The affirmation here is, I am blessed with an abundantly spiritual life. Every day, in every way, my joyous prosperity grows and grows. So yes, that's what I am getting on from the various oracle cards. I think, you know, May will be a pretty good month for you overall here with these new possibilities, the blessings, as long as you know, work on the situation with your boundaries and your communication. That will be your homework for the month, I guess you could say. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive a little more specifically into what the tarot has to say for your overall month. Okay, Aries, so we went ahead and shuffled the tarot. So let's get a better look at what you need to work on for the month of May. Because that's, looking at these cards, I definitely feel like they all are pointing to things that you should be working on. That, again, I go back to that concept of boundaries, I feel like, in a lot of, especially for the beginning of the month. So the overall energy that you had for the month of May is the Three of Wands reverse. So this is talking about, you know, delay in things, obstacles, being distracted, frustration, but so that's what you're feeling, because that is definitely stemming from a place where currently I feel like you guys are, you're rushing and you're doing all these things when you really don't have a very solid plan. And so that's what this is really talking about. The Three of Wands reversed is about planning your future, like, really well. You needing larger, like, more long-term goals to go after, you know. And while you're doing this process and you're moving through the future, you need to start making better plans for your future. But on the flip side of that, when you're looking at your future and planning for it, you need to still be open to the idea of the future can change. Things can change. So just being able to roll with those changes and not feel so frustrated and discouraged when things don't exactly go the way you've been initially viewing them as going, or feeling like every decision you've been making is a bad decision, because it's not. Every decision is a learning moment that you had to make that decision because there was something from it you needed to learn. So big reminder here, you need long-term goals and you need to plan. Planning, setting goals, planning. This is also fire energy, so this is you guys for sure. So that's Aries, Sagittarius, Leos, Wands, the passion, the drive. Now, for the first week of your May, we also have the Two of Wands reversed. And again, this is really talking about you've been feeling you've had a lot of decisions, you know, maybe a lack of vision about what you need to do. So a fear of the change. Maybe for some of you, deals or plans fell through, but this all goes back, and this is just reiterating exactly what it said for your overall month for the first week, and that is set long-term goals. You have to set long-term goals, and that goes back to the boundaries thing. You know, if you don't understand your boundaries, you don't understand your goals, then how are you best to dictate where you're supposed to be going? You know, how to handle situations, knowing what is the right things to say yes to. You have to know what your goals are so that you can say yes to the right opportunities, because both of these are talking about, you know, there's opportunities on the horizons, there's possibilities of travel, there's choices that can be made to lead to, you know, good prosperity, but you have to understand what your goals are in order to better handle those situations when they come up. So yes, now moving on to, you know, what we have going on for the second week of May, we have the Two of Pentacles reversed. So this is very chaotic. You're juggling too many things. You're feeling overwhelmed. A lot of stress. You could be you feel like you have poor finances, making poor financial choices. A loss of balance because you're juggling too much. You need to take a break. This is warning you not to overspend because you're so distracted and you're balancing all these things, probably because of that idea of the boundaries, saying yes to too many things. So you're juggling too many of other people's problems than really focusing on your main issues that you need to do and you need to pay attention to. So you're letting all that other stuff distract you, and that can lead to overspending. So for the second week of May, with this card appearing, this is telling you need to take a break and really make this break about yourself. Go back into nature, go into your garden, and close up the gate for a little while. For this week, go into the garden and close the gate and really think about what your goals are. What is it you're doing? What are your boundaries? This is the week I definitely see you guys working on that. Like this could be a very good time for you to take that break, because that is what it's telling you to do. Now for the third week, because we've had a lot of reversal cards here, we finally have 2 upright cards. So you're going to take this break, and this is going to help you see and realize you have a lot of choices. There are a ton of different choices before you, and so all of these cups are full of different things, and so you can feel a little bit of confusion, and you're not quite sure what cup might be the best cup for you, and because some of them might lead, that some of them are going to lead to some really great things, but others could lead to, monsters or difficulties, that kind of concept and that idea. But the way to make this decision, because this is cups, this is the water elements, this is your water signs, it's coming from both a place, because we also had this with the King of Coins, which I'll get into, but to make this decision, you have to really look internally. You have to look at yourself and make the decision that best calls to your heart and what you feel deep down inside, your gut feeling. I believe that came up, right? That came up with the boundaries thing. One of your oracle cards talked about that, trusting in that gut feeling, listening to that, and knowing what things are right for you. Don't let maybe other people's influence determine what cup you should choose. Really make sure it's the right cup for you and the right one to whatever your goals are. So that makes a lot of sense. You're having this overall thing about picking your long-term goals. Your first week is really an emphasis on that. Start setting those long-term goals, plan out your future, and then the second week gives you that chance to take a break, stop the juggling acts, and take more time to think about that. And then with the third week of May, this is the time for you to kind of come out from the garden, open up the gate, and then you're looking at those choices. So now you got to make a decision. And to help you with that could possibly be someone who really represents what the King of Coins means. So this is an earth sign person. This is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is somebody very practical, knows how to handle the end results, can make, something out of nothing really well. This is good financial situations. And there is, again, a slight warning here about don't overspend out of your means. Understand what your means. Know what your financial situation is. This is somebody very practical and very reliable. And they can definitely, if this person is coming in during your third week, then they can really help you sort of have a clearer answer on like the material plane of understanding the choices that you have presented to you. But you definitely still need to listen to your internal self, your intuition, that emotional side of things. If this isn't referring to a person, this is just referring to aspects of yourself that you need to take on. So a good sense of responsibility for your finances, a good practical way of going about things, understanding the end results of your choices and what these plans are that you're making. So it goes back to having that good sense of goals that you need to take on. Now, for the final week of May, we have the Three of Swords reversed. So this is really talking about how for some of you've been going through some sort of grief. There was some sort of loss, a breakup possibly. And so you've been dealing with this, but the Three of Swords appearing here now means that by the end of May, you have the opportunity to realize that you may have been dealing with this, and this is now the time to recover, forgiveness, moving on from this situation. But you have to be very active in realizing, okay, I've been wallowing in whatever this hurt was for way too long, and now I need to come out of it, accept it, and move on to continuing on with my future, So I take that as it can be a very good sign to have the Three of Swords up reversed, but as long as you're actively understanding that you're in that situation or you've been in that situation, and you need to wake up and be, okay, time to stop being so sad and I can move on now. I've spent my tears and I can forgive and recover whatever from this situation. So overall, you have a lot of minor arcana and some of the court cards. So this is, it's definitely an important month for you as far as working on your goals and your boundaries and all that stuff that we've already discussed. But it's, these are a good solid little steps. It's not, because we don't have any major arcana, this tells me that this isn't a huge really uplifting or big thing that is going on in your life that has to change, because the major arcana are those huge, very groundbreaking life moments, while the minor suits are the day-to-day kind of thing. So you're going to be on the right track to fixing sort of your day-to-day routine and what's going on in your life, as long as you remember to work on the boundaries, work on communication, and set goals. It's all about the goals for you, Aries, because you got some good choices coming. You just have to be prepared and have a plan on how to handle it. And we have some healing and some recovery going on. So that's fantastic. So yes, that is what the tarot and the oracle cards had to say for your general month of May. Again, general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you would like to leave a like, that would be super good, so I know that you enjoyed this video. And also throughout, the month of May, if you want to come back and leave a comment and tell me how things shaped up for you, that would be totally cool and awesome, because I would love to hear about it. And yes, remember to check out all my other various links down below in the description, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great May, Aries.